Hey friends, I am back here in Ableton to talk a little bit about AI generated content and to make some AI generated content using my own music as the input. So I've been doing this the whole year. It is part of my PhD project where I am making music using AI, but using AI as like a collaborator in my creative process. So what does that mean? Well, it can mean lots of things. That's kind of what I'm exploring is all these different ways in which one may use AI to sort of inject something into their own work. So I'm not really like using it in the way of like, type in a prompt to a song generator, create song, and then song finished, and me go, yay, that's my song. That's not how I'm doing things. I'm more like prompting the AI to create something, finding a fragment that I like, remixing the hell out of it, turning it into my own thing. And that's one method, or perhaps using a chatbot to craft some lyrics, editing the lyrics heavily because they're usually garbage, feeding that back into the AI to get like, a different verse or something, coming up with lyrics that I'm finally happy with, putting that into a song generator, getting a full song, and then taking the pieces of that song that I like and re-recording the whole thing with my own instrumentation, my own voice, whatever it may be. Or in this case, writing a piano piece, putting that through a AI model like, what's the one I've been using? Suno. Or I just started using Suno, getting a remixed version of my own work and then remixing that remixed version of my own work. So this sort of back and forth circular flow of ideas between myself and AI model. That's how I feel like it kind of ends up being a bit of a collaboration. So that's the project at large. Today, though, if you've been watching these videos, you've heard me repeat that a little spiel in some form or another many times, I'm sure. But this week I've got this piano part here. I recorded this is a real piano. I recorded where there is a real piano at the university that I work at. I just used some SM58s to record this, just two of them pointing at the piano. Not a hi-fi piano recording. I think it sounds quite good considering. If I take off all of my processing, let's just listen to it on its own. I'll take that beat out as well. So it's pretty lovely recording, really. Pretty happy with my playing as well. Bit of noise in the background, but I think that just adds color, texture, life, organic quality to it. So I think it's quite a nice recording, especially considering it was just done with SM58s, which are not exactly the traditional microphone you would use to record a piano. They're not condensers, which you would usually use a condenser pencil mic or something, preferably something from Neumann or something like that. But these were just Shure SM58s. I think it sounded pretty good, frankly. But I have done some processing to it, so let's just look at that. I've got a plugin called Stator or Stator, however you want to call it, however you want to say it. It's from Sine Vibes. It's a tape emulation plugin. So that gives it a sort of warbly tape effect. But then the rest of this is largely just a bit of EQ, bit of saturation with raw, bit of reverb to give it a little bit of space, and then a little bit more color EQ on the end. And you end up with this, which I think sounds also really nice, but differently nice, kind of lo-fi. And then I've added this beat, which I've also crunched down a bit, made a bit more lo-fi. It's just a loop that was from an old sample CD, sample pack from the 90s, I believe. Pretty cool beat, really, but I've crunched it up quite a lot. So if we take the crunchiness off it, we end up with this. Still a fine beat, but I prefer it with this filtering and saturation. I've added a bunch of other stuff up here which may or may not stay. I'm not really sure yet, but I was just experimenting. But today I'm just going to bounce out sections of this. So I'll take this section here. I'll take this section here. I'll take this section, I think. Which is actually that section. Actually, maybe I'll just take this section. And then we loop back around. So I'm just going to bounce these out with the beat. I might actually take the processing off the piano because I want, or maybe I'll try both, but I think I'll take it off because, or maybe just the stator. Maybe I'll take that off just so it's a bit cleaner. And so I hope then that the AI model can sort of detect what it needs to a little bit better. I have experienced issues in the past where, say, if I input guitar and the guitar has a bit too much distortion, some things cannot sound quite right. So I might take the stator off the drums as well, because there's one on there as well. That'll do. It's probably not going to make much of a difference, but I'm just going to bounce these out and then we'll head over to Suno and we'll do some AI magic there. So I'll see you in a bit. All right, so here I am in Suno, which if you watched my last video, I have actually been using this other model called Stable Audio, which, well, I mean, this is the website, but it's not really showing you what I wanted to show you. But if you watch that video, you'll know that I was actually getting really terrible results, whereas in the past I was getting better results. So I feel like their models changed somehow. But I basically decided not to use Stable Audio anymore, and I've moved over to Suno. Suno is interesting in that it is a full song generator if you want it to be, but that's not really how I like to use it. What I really want is to feed my own music into it and for it to give me some variation on that, like a remix, for example. And as you can see here, down on this drop-down menu where it says remix or edit, what I want to do, I think they've changed it since I last used it, but I just want a kind of remix of this. Let's try a different style. High energy instrumental electronic dance track with driving beat and prominent synth melody. Well, I don't want any of that. What I might want though is remix this audio in a lo-fi, future-based style with lots of reverb and ambience. I really don't know how this is going to go, but let's give it a shot. Just going to click create there. Okay, it's doing it. Oh, we're getting several options here. Interesting. I guess they must have changed their pricing model or something because it says upgrade for full song. I don't really want full song. I just want little bits. So let's listen to these. These should be ready to play now. It's pretty quick. That's not even close to what I would want. It doesn't sound anything like what I want. That's very annoying. Let's try this one. That's better. It's still a bit not quite what I want. All right, what do these ones sound like? Let's listen to the original again. And then this. How about this one? God damn it. Oh, God. I probably shouldn't say this because I'm sure a lot of people love it, but music that sounds like that, God, I struggle. I struggle with it. I'll just say that. All right. So that's not what I wanted. I want a remix. What if we do cover? Let's try cover and see what happens now. It's not really the same as it was like last time I used this. They've changed it, which is kind of annoying. We go to simple. No. I mean, let's just give it a go. Let's just see what happens. Maybe they've changed the terminology from remix to cover. Because the last time I did this and clicked remix, it basically did a cover version, which is kind of what I want. I want it to use the same chords so I can then just insert it directly into my session or use a stem splitter to split it and then start chopping it up and editing it. But I don't want it to take too many liberties, I basically just want it to be the same chords in a slightly different style, maybe with different sound design. So let's listen to this one. Better. Much better. Until that happened, then it was terrible. This is much better. Stylistically, this is not really what it to be. I feel like I need to, let's change this. So let's lo-fi, trip, hop, track, remix this audio. Let's just remove this remix part, doesn't need that. Lo-fi, trip, hop, track with lots of bass with smooth sub bass and delicate ambient pads with hints at a future bass style. Hints to future bass style. The track should have lots of reverb and ambience. I'll add lo-fi. I already added lo-fi. Fuck it, I'll just add it again. And anything else? Funky beats. Sure, let's just chuck that in there. I don't know what that... Man, that word just makes me feel like I'm getting old. Energiec? What's that about? Dark melodic? All right, let's go with that. All right, let's just have a go with this, see what happens. Yes, cover. I'm very impressed how fast it just pumps these out. When I was using stable audio, man, it was slow by comparison. This is like almost immediate. I also think it's funny how I assume it generates these, but it's these little sort of graphics. All right, let's try this. Very good. it's worth mentioning that the reason why I bounced out separate chunks of that melody is because I kind of want different interpretations of the track in different sections. That way I can stitch them together and get something a little bit different from section to section. So let's listen to this one. These are both quite good. Awesome. Yeah, very good. Oh, I like that. I like how it's now reinterpreting. So it's like covering but adding these little bits of flair to it. That's cool. Yeah, very cool. So I'm going to record these back into Ableton in a sec, but right now let's add a new piece of audio. The second one I made here, and let's see what it does with this one, because yeah, I don't know, I'm just really keen to see how it changes it and how it can then be stitched together with the previous section to create something sort of fresh and interesting. Okay, cool. Let's now take this, put it, I just drag it? No. Let's go to here and do cover. Cool, it's showing up there now. Let's keep the same prompt and let's just see what it gives us. I should probably also go back into Ableton, strip out the drum beat and see what it does as well, because the drum beat is obviously informing what the AI does with the track. So it'd be interesting to see what it does with it without the drum beat. But I guess I kept the drum beat in there because I quite liked the groove of it and I wanted to inject that into it. Let's listen to what it's done with this. Nice. Yeah, I really like that. Again, same chords. Maybe it varies the chords ever so slightly. Not even the chords, just like it might add like an extra extension, an extra note. Interesting. Okay. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's try this one. Interesting. Where's it gonna go? It's pretty cool. Let's try it one more time. I'll keep the same. Actually, you know what? Let's just upload that final bit of audio because I might run out of credits or however it works. Yeah, give me. I'll just keep saving to the library. Let that upload. Cool. It's pretty quick to upload as well. All right, so let's do a remix. Let's do a cover. Keep the same style, and let's just see what we get. And I'm out of credits. Well, I'm gonna just upgrade my account right now, and I'll be back in a sec. All right, so I just upgraded my account, and this is the result of the final piece of audio that I've uploaded, I should say. Just go back to the start. Very cool. God, it really goes above and beyond. I've got 3.5 minutes here. I don't need that. It's adding. Yeah. It's kind of cool. cool. Let's try this next one. Yeah, I quite like that. I like that better almost. That's the thing, you can use both of them. You can blend them together, you could layer them, you could fade one into the next one in like a vector synthesis kind of way. Lots of stuff you can do. Yeah, very cool. Let's skip ahead a bit. A little bit of like horns almost. Very cool, very cool. All right, so I'm going to download all of these, but we might try some more as well. So I might go back to Ableton. We'll bounce it out with just the piano, and then we'll come back here and we'll get some more results that way. So I'll be back in a sec. All right, so I'm back in Suno. I've just bounced out the piano part without the beat, which sounds like this. This is the first part anyway. Cool. So what style am I going to give this one? Well, we could just do similar thing to what I wrote last time, but maybe we can, I don't know, maybe we can sort of add some of these modifiers. Epic cinematic. Let's try that. Funky groove patterns, new age piano. Ooh, that sounds cheesy as fuck, but I am quite curious to know what that's going to sound like. Spectrasonics Omnisphere 2. Well, that's just a plug-in. That seems like a weird modifier to have in there. Water sound. Let's chuck that in there. Organic ambient. Let's chuck that in there. Maybe I'll just leave it at that. See what happens. You never know really what you're going to get, so let's just give it a go. This should be done pretty quick. Epic, cinematic, new age ambient piano, water sound, organic ambient. Ah, my favorite genre. All right, let's have a listen to this. Ooh. That's pretty cool, actually. Took a bit of a turn there. Don't know about that, but like the opening. Where it goes. I mean, it's not very long. It's quite short, actually. Oh, it's still generating. I wonder if that means that while it's still generating, it doesn't have an end. Let's try the other one. I don't think that's really gonna go with the other part. It sounds a little bit too different. Also, where's my water sound, damn it? All right, this is all a bit like Enya-esque, and I like Enya, don't get me wrong, but it's not quite what I'm after. I did like the opening of this one. That's very good. I will download that for sure. Let's do it again. Let's give it another generation. Maybe we can add funky groove pattern and Spectrasonics Omnisphere 2 and Guitarra Electrica. Sure, let's just chuck that in, see what we get. I don't have high hopes necessarily, although I have been very impressed with Suno. It's the best one I've used so far. And quite often with these AI models, what I'm after is to get something quite lo-fi anyway. Like, I don't need it to be the best audio quality. Sometimes I kind of prefer it when it's a bit janky, a little bit crunchy, a little bit wonky because that means when I take that and I sort of do my own thing with it, you can get very unique results doing that. Sometimes AI generators can be too clean, and I don't mean like the audio quality, I mean the style can be too clean. So I think Suno kind of strikes a nice balance, really, where it gives me quite interesting results. I haven't had anything really wonky out of Suno yet, though, which is maybe a good thing because it kind of saves me time sifting through a bunch of garbage. But by the same token, it's nice to have something that's a bit weird sometimes. So let's try this one. That's great. I love that. And I'm going to use that for sure. You ruined it. That little piano flourish ruined it. Let's see if I can loop the other part. I mean, some of this is still all right. I like the sort of beat. The guitar is interesting. I don't hate it. It's just... some of this is good. The beat's pretty good as well. Interesting how it sort of ended up making a similar beat to the beat that I was using. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Let's try this one. Quite like that. I like how it sort of added an extension to that chord on the end. Yeah, I like these. It's not, all right. That ruined it. That definitely ruined it. I'm going to remove this guitar stuff, that one, and I'm going to remove funky groove patterns. Maybe we can add raw sound. Curious to know what that will give us. I could add hip hop. I don't know. Disney, God. Just goes to show what these AI music generators get used for more than anything else, really. It's just people fucking around. I'm not judging that, but it is what it is. Curious to see what we get out of this from removing those two modifiers. Let's try this one. Much more ambient than I was expecting. It's like not very similar, but maybe it's still useful. I like the ambience. It's quite nice. All right, yeah, sure. Let's try this one. It's definitely good. That cello played a wrong note, which I don't know if I've really heard that before from an AI, so that's kind of interesting. Okay, I think there's enough material here. I'll just download that in a minute. Let's add the next audio file that I want to use, which is this one, and let's just see what we get by uploading this. Yeah, and I might use the same prompt again because it's just, yeah, I'm always curious to see how it varies things up using the same prompt. Yeah, there's something kind of uniquely mesmerizing, and I would also say kind of addictive to seeing how far you can push it. And not just that, but like what sorts of directions the AI model is going to go in, because it varies so much. And this is not just true of music. It's true of all AI tools, like image generation. It's always fascinating seeing reinterpretations of the same prompt or the same theme. And what I find funny, especially with things like Gemini, is that if you ask it to create an image, but then you want it to edit that image, it kind of gets stuck in a weird loop. It's almost like you have to then start a new conversation with it and take that same prompt, and then you get a different result. But if you ask it to adjust the image that it's already created, it does do it. It just doesn't do it very well, and it ends up glitching out a lot. So I don't know. I'm just sort of rambling at this point. Let's try this one. Interesting, another fade in like that. I mean, it's cool. It's just like quite different. I don't see how this is a cover. Let's just get... It's quite nice though. Maybe I can use it. Yeah, interesting. I don't know about that. Going slightly... I mean, it's very epic and cinematic. It's pretty cool. Wow. Fascinating. All right, let's try this one. Cool. Yeah, that's see, this is kind of the generation that I kind of want, is something that takes what I've done and just gives it a variation, you know? Like, I like that. Oh, it's a little bit too much there. But I like, maybe I can use this because I can strip out the bass. I quite like the bass. The piano is too busy. Still, it is quite cool. Maybe if I remove Epic Cinematic, I guess I'll, or maybe I remove New Age Piano. Let's try that. I think the rest can stay. I mean, we'll see what happens. Anything else I can add here? Retro Soul. I mean, I'm curious about that. I don't know how well that's going to go. Fallen Angel. What does that mean? What does that mean? Oh yeah, the sound of Fallen Angel. Yep, that old chestnut. Baffling. Anyway, we'll try another round. Why is it only doing one this time? That could work. Yeah, I like that. How that could, now that I've removed the piano part, I can put my own piano over the top of this. Yeah, that's good. It's pretty cool as well. What was that? And you lost me. That's okay. All right. Well, look, that's probably going to do it for this video today. Last time I made one of these videos, I had to edit it down significantly because of all the issues I was having with stable audio. But then I moved over to Suno and got some good results, which is why I'm using that now. But I made an entire track out of the stuff I got out of Suno last time, like after I made the video last time. So I'm going to make another video showing what I did with that because I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching me generate some audio and stuff like that. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.